Batman v Superman. The film starts with Bruce Wayne, Ben Affleck, describing a dream of his. He is just a boy attending his parents' funeral. This jumps between flashbacks of a young Bruce leaving the theater with his parents Thomas and Martha, Jeffrey Dean Morgan and Lauren Cohan, when they are approached by a gunman. Thomas stepped in to protect Bruce and was shot. Martha went for the gun, but was killed as well. In Bruce's dream, he is running into the woods and ends up falling down a hole. He encounters a swarm of bats that surround him and guide him back up to the surface. We jump to Metropolis when Superman, Henry Cavill, is battling Zod, Michael Shannon. Bruce arrives in the midst of the chaos as he sees the World Engine destroying the city. He contacts one of his employees at his building in the city, who is witnessing the battle from inside. Bruce races to the building just as the Kryptonian ship collides with the World Engine and gets sucked into the black hole. As Superman and Zod continue fighting, Zod's heat vision tears through the Wayne Enterprises building, causing half of it to come crashing down. Bruce finds one man, Wallace Keefe, Scoot McNairy, trapped beneath a heavy steel bar, crushing his legs. Bruce lifts the bar and two men pull Wallace out. Bruce then jumps in to save a little girl before she is crushed. He asks her where her mom is, and she points to the top part of the building that is destroyed. 18 months later, two boys are swimming in the Indian Ocean and find a huge rock. They bring it back to an island and discover it contains a large piece of kryptonite. In Africa, Lois Lane, Amy Adams, is conducting an interview with a warlord. His gunmen break Jimmy Olsen's, Michael Cassidy, camera and discover a tracking device. Jimmy is killed after defending Lois, saying she didn't know about this. The warlord takes Lois into his home. The mercenaries begin shooting before Superman crashes through the warlord's home and plows him through the wall before he can hurt Lois. A press conference is held following the mayhem in Africa. A woman testifies, blaming Superman for the deaths of the people in her village, including her parents. Senator Finch, Holly Hunter, believes that Superman must answer for the destruction he's caused. In Gotham City, the police come across a building where several women are locked in a cage. One of them claims that a devil rescued them. From upstairs, the police hear a thumping sound. They find a man tied to the wall with a bat symbol branded on his chest. The police then see Batman in the shadows. They shoot at him, but he makes his escape. Bruce returns to the Batcave and finds Alfred, Jeremy Irons, working a voice modulator for his suit. They both acknowledge the controversy surrounding Superman. Senator Finch goes to meet Lex Luthor, Jesse Eisenberg. He has recovered some of the kryptonite and states that he plans to weaponize it as a silver bullet in case the planet endures another attack from other Kryptonians. Lex is also given access to the crash site of the Kryptonian ship and is keeping Zod's corpse stored away. However, Finch attempts to hold off Lex from continuing with his experiments. Lois observes a bullet lodged in her notebook from the shootout in Africa. It's an uncommon bullet, but she hides it from Clark when he comes home. Both of them know what is being said about Superman, but he tries to ignore it. Wallace, now confined to a wheelchair after losing his lower legs, goes to the monument of Superman in Metropolis. He climbs the statue and spray paints false God on Superman's chest. Bruce suspects LexCorp of dealing with wanted criminal Anatoly Nyazev, Callum Mulvey. As he gets closer to Nyazev's tail, Alfred tells Bruce he's been invited to a fundraiser hosted by Lex. He goes by his Batman suit and then sees a suit that belonged to Robin, which has "hahaha the joke's on you" Batman spray painted on it. 3 guesses as to who wrote that. Bruce attends the fundraiser while Clark is there to report. Bruce leaves a lock opener on a safe in Lex's home to grab a hard drive containing valuable information. However, Bruce discovers it was taken by a mysterious woman named Diana Prince, Gal Gadot. Bruce and Clark meet, both of them speaking against each other's secret identities. Clark thinks Batman is a menace to Gotham, while Bruce thinks Superman has caused more harm than good and is overly glorified for his actions. After they separate, Clark sees a report on TV of a raging fire in Juarez, Mexico. He rushes there as Superman and saves a young girl from a burning building. The people in Juarez all reach out to him. As Superman continues his heroics, various reporters and commentators, Charlie Rose, Neil deGrasse Tyson, etc., note that many people view Superman as a machinic figure, while others see him as a clear threat. Bruce runs into Diana again and tells her she took something from him. She lets him know that what he's looking for is in the glove compartment of his car. Meanwhile, Lois is investigating the origin of the bullet she found. She meets with General Swanwick, Harry Lennox, and she learns that the U military may be involved in shady dealings with someone like Nyazev. Superman visits his adoptive mother Martha Kent, Diane Lane, over his concerns with how the public views him. She assures him that he owes the world nothing and encourages him to keep doing what he needs to do. Bruce has another dream in which the future has become bleak following a presumed attack from Superman. Bruce, as Batman, encounters some mercenaries that apparently work for Superman. He engages in a fight with them, resorting to using a gun and killing off these men. A swarm of insect creatures descend and start attacking. Batman is knocked out and taken captive. He wakes up in a dark room when Superman arrives and fries two men next to Batman with his heat vision. He then pulls off Batman's cowl and seems to blame him for whatever has happened to Lois. Superman then crushes Batman's chest. Bruce awakens with a jolt just as a bright surge of electricity appears. From it emerges the Flash, Ezra Miller, warning Bruce about a threat and telling him to seek us out. Batman goes out to hunt for the kryptonite, chasing after Nyazev and his goons by the docks. Superman finds him and causes him to crash the Batmobile. Superman tells Batman he must stop this search. Before he flies away, Batman asks him if he bleeds. He promises to make it happen. Finch holds a hearing at the Capitol building in Metropolis, where people are eagerly awaiting to see if Superman will show up to speak for himself. Wallace shows up to testify against him in a special wheelchair given to him by Lex. Superman arrives before a crowd that is half in support of him and half against him. Bruce watches from his office as he receives numerous checks and pictures with written taunts against him, such as him being accused of letting his family die. As Finch begins to speak to Superman, she stumbles midway through her speech when she realizes Lex is not there. She sees a jar of urine on the table labeled Granny's peach tea, as a nod to something she said to Lex earlier. Before she realizes something is off, a bomb in Wallace's wheelchair goes off, destroying the whole building and everyone, without superpowers, inside. This further draws ire against Superman, as it is now believed he had something to do with this. Bruce accesses the drive from LexCorp and discovers files on the metahuman thesis. He finds video files on 4 individuals. The first is Barry Allen outside his Flash costume, stopping a robber in a convenience store with super speed while avoiding detection. The next is of Aquaman, Jason Momoa, being detected before using his trident to get him out of sight. Another video file is of a man named Victor Stone, Ray Fisher, being experimented on, as most of his body is gone. The scientist performing the experiment uses a particular box that causes Victor's body to fuse with machine parts, turning him into cyborg. Finally, Bruce sees Diana in a picture from 1918 wearing a special kind of armor. Bruce then sends an email to Diana and questions who she is. Lex goes to the Kryptonian ship with Zod's corpse. After gaining enough knowledge from the ship's database, he drops Zod's body into the water of the Genesis chamber and drops some of his blood onto him, preparing to create something horrible. Clark has a dream that he sees his adoptive father Jonathan, Kevin Costner, to give him guidance. Martha is leaving her job when a van pulls up near her. It follows her before she runs by another van. A group of men grab her and take her away. Batman obtains the kryptonite and makes a spear with it. He then turns on the bat signal and shines it in the sky. Back in Metropolis, Lex meets with Lois atop his building. He pushes her off the building and Superman arrives in the nick of time to save her. He flies to confront Lex, who plans to instigate a fight between him and Batman so that, in his mind, man can fight God. Superman refuses to fight until Lex reveals he has Martha held hostage with only 1 hour to face Batman before she dies. Reluctantly, Superman flies over to Gotham to find Batman. Superman faces Batman to ask for help, but Batman has other plans in mind. And with that, the battle begins. Batman's armored suit allows him to pound Superman's face. Batman is able to throw Superman through walls, but Superman fights back and throws Batman around as well. Batman manages to get back up fast and throw Superman to the ground from a few floors up, bringing him down hard. Batman ties Superman's feet together and drags him a spot where he plans to impale him with the kryptonite spear. Before Batman can strike the killing blow, Superman pleads with him to help him save Martha. When Batman hears that name, he is reminded of his own mother. Lois shows up and tells Batman that Superman is trying to save his mother. Batman then decides to stop fighting and agrees to go rescue Martha, while Superman must stop Lex. With Alfred's help, Batman locates the warehouse where Martha is being kept. He pounds his way through the henchmen, using some of his gadgets to help. He makes it to the top, where he finds Nyazev ready to use a flamethrower on Martha. Batman gets one goon to shoot at Nyazev's tank, causing him to blow up as Batman rescues Martha. Superman faces Lex, who learns that his plan has failed. However, his backup plan is almost complete. Zod has now completely transformed into Doomsday, a gigantic monstrosity that feeds off energy. Superman fights him across the city, with the military intervening by launching a strike against Doomsday. As Superman takes Doomsday above Earth, they are hit with a missile, but Doomsday falls back to Earth with more power. Batman shows up to help fight Doomsday. Doomsday fires a blast in Batman's direction, but it is deflected by the gauntlets of Wonder Woman. With her sword and shield, she joins the battle. Superman flies back down to stand alongside Batman and Wonder Woman. Meanwhile, Lois is looking for the spear that she threw in the water. She nearly drowns until Superman goes to rescue her. Knowing what will happen if he takes the spear, Superman tells Lois he loves her. Wonder Woman uses her lasso to hold Doomsday down, while Batman hits him with his nerve gas. Superman flies full speed with the spear and pierces Doomsday's body, but Doomsday strikes back by impaling Superman in the chest with one of his spikes. Superman pushes the kryptonite through Doomsday's body, killing him for good. Lois runs to Superman's body, but he is already gone. Lex is arrested and has his head shaved in prison. Batman pays him a visit and threatens to make him answer for his crimes. He holds a hot brand to Lex's face, but instead of branding him, he punches the wall behind him and leaves a bat-shaped hole in there. Everybody comes together to mourn Superman's death. Martha gives Lois an envelope that Clark was to give her. It contains an engagement ring. A funeral is held for the fallen hero, with people all across Metropolis holding a vigil for him. Bruce speaks to Diana and says he plans to get the rest of the people like her together. She says that they may not want to be found, but Bruce is certain that they will need to come together to fight. After the funeral, Lois drops some dirt into Superman's grave. Once she leaves, we hear a faint heartbeat coming from the grave, followed by some of the dirt rising in the air.